Hi, I'm Kevin, and welcome to the Kevin and Amma show, where we unlock your life. And today, both Amma and I have just recently celebrated a milestone kind of birthday. Amma is 1 year short of 50, and I am 2 years short of 65. So here we go. And we've decided today we want to talk about age. And is age just a number to you, or is it a limiting belief for you, or how does your age affect you? And what do you find happens to you as you get older, and what happens to your life, your career, your relationships? How does it all affect you at the end of the day? So I'm Kevin, welcome, and Amma, welcome. How are you today?
I'm good, thank you. And happy belated birthday. Happy birthday for yesterday.
Thank you very much. And you too. Happy birthday from Saturday.
Thank
So
you.
exciting. And did you do something nice?
I did. I mean, I had an easy birthday, meaning that there was no big song and dance. It was just simple with my favorite
Mm.
people, my husband and kids. Unfortunately, Giovanna wasn't very well, so we couldn't play out the
Oh
whole
no.
weekend of
Right.
celebration. But we had a nice time. Ali cooked me a nice
Good.
lunch. I went to the gym
Nice.
and I was nicely celebrated by my class. And we
Oh,
went to
good.
the new Bob Marley movie. That was really good.
Oh yeah. Did you like that?
I loved it, Kevin. I wasn't
Well, that's
expecting to
good.
like it that much, but I really,
Yeah.
really like it. I really, really loved it. Um,
Cool.
I'm a big fan of his movie, but I didn't know much about his life story.
Hmm.
And it's so beautifully told. And it's so inspiring and motivating, especially on the journey that we're on, that
Hmm. I have to check it out.
sometimes you need a reminder that success doesn't come overnight. People put in
Yes.
hours behind
Yeah.
closed doors with many challenges,
Years.
including, literally like death,
Hmm.
near death experiences. And he kept going. He kept coming back
Hmm.
even after he was shot on stage and stuff like that. So
Wow.
I
I
like
didn't
those
know
kind of
that.
stories. How do you do that?
Yeah.
Did you say?
Pardon me?
What did you say? How do you do that?
I just said I didn't know that. I didn't know that
Yeah,
he was shot on stage. That's
he was
crazy.
shot. Yeah,
Wow. That's great. That's good. I had the same thing. Went out for dinner with friends, and then we went to see this comedian, uh, Mateo Lane, who's really funny. But then another example of, nothing happens overnight. It would seem that he has just skyrocketed to fame overnight. But when he's talking in his dialogue, he actually talks about how long it's taken to get to that point. And it's just in the last 3 years that he's done incredibly well, but he's been doing it for 16 years,
yeah. Mm,
right? And he talked about how, when he first started out, what the routine is about going to these like really cheap little comedy festivals and stuff like that, and trying to get on stage, and you get 2 minutes, and how long you have to do that to earn your keep, right? So
yeah.
it is all about that. And now he's 37, so like typically in the life of a comedian, unless you become, a big movie person as well, that's his span is almost done. 3 years of fame, and then maybe five, and then that's probably the peak of his career, and then that's it. So he's 37. So by the time he's 45, he'll probably be done. So it's not.
Why is that? Can't comedians go on stage at 45?
I think yes, you can, but I think it's because of the market and the size of it and how many people keep coming in, coming in, coming in. I think you die out, and you're not as popular as you were, and people replace you and things like that. And that's what I was saying. Like unless you like, he does have a Netflix series coming up or something, so that'll help him stay longer. But if you're not that kind of person that does all that extracurricular stuff, like you really have to push and hustle, right? It's like Joan Rivers, like she busted her ass her entire life, right? Nonstop, like every day. And if you don't do that, you will become a has-been, because that's how comedians work, right? Unless you get a talk show.
Yeah.
So that's
Um,
about it, right? It's like actors, right? Actors, you see, they act all their lives, and then somewhere in their 40s, they get like 20 films that are blockbusters, and then you never see them again. So it's a cyclical thing.
unless you're Clint Eastwood, of course, then you keep acting until you're 90.
He's like 400. Amazing. And he
He
only
is.
weighs like, I don't know, 6 pounds.
Oh my God.
Crazy.
Yeah. So, age is nothing but a number. How do you feel
Hmm.
at age 63, end of 63 that you just turned?
Actually, I feel good. Like it's definitely, we were just saying, like I've got a million aches and pains and things like that, but it's just kind of par for the course, right? And I think it really, that part of it is really based on how you spend your life. Like, I've had a pretty rough life in terms of like, I've always done really crazy things like Tough Mudder, stuff like that. It's really hard on your body. I was in construction for a long time. That's really hard on your body, things like that. So I'm not surprised I have aches and pains and sore knees and things like that, but it doesn't limit me. Like I still push myself to do what I want to do. And I know that, in the morning you wake up and you're stiff as anything, but as you progress and you keep moving forward, it doesn't, it's not as bad, right? And then, so for the majority of the day, you're not in aches and pains, and then when you stop and you have dinner and you watch TV and you go to bed, you realize, oh my God, it's starting all over. So it is that thing. Like, you're sick when you think about it though, like what else can you buy that lasts 63 years without wear and tear, right? So I think I'm doing pretty good for 63.
You're
I'm
doing
using it
great.
every day.
You're doing great. Number one, you
So,
don't look 63. Number two, you don't lift like
thank
a
you.
63-year-old. You're pushing so hard in the gym. I love to watch your reels. It's
Mhm.
so inspiring. And also, you have a young mind. Your mind is always
Yeah.
connecting to what's the latest stuff, what's new. And I think that's what keeps people young. But let's go back to this
Mhm.
aches and pains thing because it's bloody real, isn't it? At what age did you notice aches and pains creeping in?
I think honestly, like after 50, you really notice it a lot of changes and things like that. I had aches and pains in my 30s, but I noticed, I did a lot when I was in my 50s and my kids were still fairly young. So I was active and things like that. And I noticed like, okay, this is really adding up, right? And then I also had a heart issue that I wasn't aware of for a number of years, right? So that I'm sure that played a role in it with affecting blood pressure and things like that. But it still didn't stop me. Like I kept on going and did a lot. But I think in your 50s you really start noticing it. That's when, like in your 50s, it's kind of like your fingers, and if you're prone to arthritis, that's kind of when it starts. And I'm definitely like it runs in my family having arthritis. My mother was really crippled with arthritis. Um, and I noticed like, sometimes like you can see this finger, it's all like kind of wonky and starting to turn. So that kind of stuff happens and you get little aches and pains and stuff. But it's par for the course. And you just buy those like old person shoes.
Oh my God, don't talk about shoes. I have such a massive shoe collection. And I never thought that these aches and pains,
Mhm.
as you're talking about, okay, first of all, I'm not 50, but even at 40 something, I'm noticing
Yeah.
the difference. I can't walk all day in heels like I used to
Yeah.
be able to. And I'm opting for
I know, right?
sneakers, as you guys call it, trainers here, Dr. Martin
Yes.
boots, things that I'm
Yeah.
opting for comfort, basically. Comfort, not just in my feet, but comfort
Yeah.
waistband. I'm
I know,
choosing things
right?
because they look comfortable, not because they're stylish or comfort becomes a priority.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's a bad thing.
We
As long as you keep
we
going,
have to adapt.
we have to adapt.
Yeah, right? Like I
But
don't
Kevin,
care.
listen to this. This is an absolute
Exactly.
fact. Nature didn't intend for women to live beyond reproduction. You take care of the baby and you die.
Hmm.
Recently, I've been diving into the
Yes.
rabbit hole of learning about menopause. Human beings, a
Hmm.
couple of species of giraffes and a couple of species of whales are the only survivors beyond the reproduction cycle, right? Mother Nature intended for us
Hmm.
to pass on around 50. But obviously today we're living longer with medical science and diet and
Yeah.
those things. So that means all these aches and pains, especially in women in menopausal age, we're learning how to navigate it. Number one, by even just admitting we've got
Hmm.
it, because as women, society doesn't want to hear about when we're not fertile anymore. What happens to us after we're no longer
Exactly right.
fertile, right? And we even women amongst women, they don't like to talk about it. It's only now that
Yeah.
the doors are opening and we're letting others in to say,
Hmm.
age is nothing but a
Hmm.
number. But hello, there's
Yeah.
some changes going on in here, and what is it, and how can we normalize it? Because obviously we all want to live longer, we all want to thrive. The more we table a
Yeah.
discussion and normalize it, the more we can share ideas. Oh, well, I found if
Exactly.
I take out this from my diet, it really helps me. So I want
Yeah.
to grow as gracefully as I can, but I also want to share some truth about the journey. So we
Yeah.
that's where I am with my aches and pains. I definitely feel some aches and pains in a way that, you know, when you used to go to the gym and soreness was a good thing, like, yeah, I worked yesterday. Oh my,
Yeah, I know. And now it's
now it's
not so
like,
much.
oh, Ali, help, roll me
I
over.
know it doesn't go away the same way,
Oh,
right?
oh,
It's
I
just
dropped
like
something.
before it was like
Giovanna, come
muscle.
and pick it up for me.
I know you'd find like if you go to the gym and you get muscle pain the next day because oh what a great workout, right? And now it's like, wow, that workout was a week ago and I'm still feeling
No, no,
it,
no.
right? So
Even in the
it's
class, I think, right, that's enough burpees because I need to be up in the morning. You know, I don't go my
yeah,
old full capacity because I know that's gonna really hurt, but not hurt in, yay, I worked my muscle.
yeah.
The point of I'm gonna need a week off.
I know. Yeah, I know. So, but I mean, that's age, right? Like that's just your body wear and tear, like everything, right? It's like a car. So, when you think about it though, there are ways that you can take care of it to last longer, do better, that kind of stuff. But the fact that we still exercise is good. That's very important. And that gives you so much more ability at carrying yourself and being able to go through the changes that you're going to go through in your life and things like that. So it's very good, right? So definitely staying active is a big part of that. Not only active physically but mentally, right? Keeping your mind fresh, like reading, challenging
Biggest one.
yourself,
That's the biggest
doing
part.
Wordle.
Yeah.
I know, right? Because you do, like if you think about it, if you're just watching TV and using your phone, it's not enough. Like you need something that challenges you, right? We got into this thing the other day. I was saying to my partner, and I said, I watched this thing, and he was so funny. So, how do you spell candy with just two letters?
KD.
C and Y.
Oh, sorry, DMY.
C and Y.
CNY. Okay.
To get it?
No.
So, how do you spell candy with two letters? C
Uh-huh.
and Y.
Oh, C and Y, but then you snuck in end.
Well, it's C and Y, so that's two letters and the middle candy, right? So anyway, it would it didn't go. It went over about as well as it did here.
Do you throw you over the
So
sofa?
pretty much. He's like, "Where did you learn that TikTok?" Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay, so yes, you're talking about our habit. Yeah, no, this is what I wanted to say. I love the analogy of you comparing age with cars
Mhm.
because, like classic cars, if you take care of it, you can make it rust
Yes.
free. You can protect. Like it's all about maintenance. It's all about
Yeah.
maintaining the mind, the body, the soul. And if you maintain it, we're not going to get younger. It's not like I'm going to go back and be a 14-year-old.
Mhm. Yeah.
However, I I can appreciate in my value like classic cars because
Yeah.
oh, look at how good this old Ford Cortina looks. you know,
Yeah.
it appreciates
Yeah.
in value. So there's something about leaning into aging and
Mhm.
stepping into whatever chapter or milestone age that you are,
Yeah.
because every milestone age has its value. I don't think it's all left
Mhm.
on youthfulness, particularly if you're aging with confidence, with courage, with taking risks, with, you know,
Mhm.
evolving to whatever next challenge or level that's in front of you.
Mhm. Yeah, like when you look at people, so you see older people. I'm going to say especially women because it's not so much like men. I don't think now more so than before, but I don't think as many men worry as much about how they look or how they're presenting, things like that as they age, right? More so now, though, definitely, right? But women, like when you see women, I love when I see an older woman who is clearly taking care of herself, right? But letting herself be herself, like be
Mm.
like just her age, wearing appropriate clothing for her age and her makeup and things like that. I think it's beautiful. Like they look amazing. Like Helen Mirren,
Oh, yeah.
anybody that just looks like that without going through all of the procedures, right? And men are just as guilty as that, which I discovered recently in Palm Springs when I was visiting there. But it's like, if you just let yourself be yourself and embrace your age, like that is like 85% of the battle of looking good is just embracing who you are and what you're all about and allowing your own self to shine through. Everybody who does that looks amazing,
Yeah.
right? Your wrinkles are your wrinkles and you earn those are like you worked for those. Like I'm not gonna hide them,
Mm.
right? So I think that's a like attitude mindset is a huge part of growing old gracefully and looking good and being able to enjoy it and take, now is different than it used to be. Like when my parents were older, right? Like their goal was like retirement and then, they retire. But now people don't want to do that. They want to live their life. They want to travel. That's when people travel, right? Before you'd hear about people, oh, I retire and then the next week they're dead. Right? And now people are embracing it. Like they want to retire, they're investing differently, they're making a life for themselves. And then, their children are all gone and they're embracing that time. And like it's almost like being reborn and you see them all over the place and all over the world. The other thing about, being in Palm Springs, to use as an example, even though some people are, embracing Botox, it's an incredibly old community and there isn't anyone hobbling around like in walkers, wheelchairs, and all that stuff. They're all very vibrant. It's an older group of people, but they're all very active and embracing their lives, right? Which is really it's all about attitude. It's really how you feel about yourself and how you take on those challenges to enjoy your life. Those are the best parts of your life. You worked so hard to get to that point in your life. Why not enjoy it and embrace it?
I see a movement of two splits, Kevin. There's those who want to be forever young at whatever cost. So obviously you see so much of
Yeah.
the Botox and the surgery and the injections and that, let's face it, even on celebrities, after a while it looks terrible.
Yeah,
Compared
for
to
sure.
somebody like Helen
Yeah.
Mirren, as you cited. And then there's another
Yeah.
split, Helen Mirren and I can't remember, Andy McDowell or something her name is, who are allowing their
Mhm.
grays to come through and just say, "Sod
Yes.
it, I can't stop it,
They
so
look
I'm going to go
amazing.
with it. This is what this is what it looks like. This is what's happening. Can we all
Mhm.
accept it,
Yeah.
embrace it, and step forward?
Yes.
And also, more importantly, can the movie industry create roles and characters for these women because it's still valid? I love the
Mhm.
Jane Fonda kind of movies where they're showing girlfriends what happens in their 70s and trying to
Yeah.
fall in love and keep in shape and travel,
Yeah.
holding
Mhm.
friendships and having experiences.
Yeah.
I think the more society makes space, the more brands make space to show older women, the more we're all going to embrace it. Because you
Yeah.
can't be what you can't see. If the world is constantly showing images of only
Yeah.
youthfulness, like it's the best thing to attain, obviously it's going
Yeah.
to affect us. But we all want to
Yeah.
belong. And if we can have women like the way you're presented now, so what? I'm gray, but beautiful gray. This
Yeah.
is what it is. Let's embrace it. But Kevin, I've met a hell amount of men in their 50s, like colleagues and friends of my husband,
Mhm.
who are not happy about what's happening to them at their aging
For
process.
sure.
I never heard my dad and his friends complain. At least they didn't articulate it verbally. I don't know if it's a new thing or now men have the platform to speak about it, but I hear a lot more men who are upset that their hair is losing or the
Sure.
facial features. They feel like they're disappearing. The same kind of threats the women
Yeah.
feel is
Well,
showing
I think
that
it's
there's that psychological science a lot
yeah.
in men also. So I think there's a balance. Some women are getting better at aging, and some men are fighting it like crazy.
I know. Well, it's all societal pressure. Like it's all what's out there, right? Like it's people make it bad to age. And men, like I know men that like they never had male products for moisturizer or things like that years ago, right? Like you'd be hard pressed to find something to put on your face, like aside from like kind of wax or something for a mustache, right? But now there's tons of stuff. There's like tons of moisturizer. There's all the same types of moisturizer and facial treatments as there is for women, right? Like it's all over the place.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with nourishing your skin to stop from aging or to look good or to feel good. But it wasn't a thing before, but now it is. Like now there is a lot of pressure for men to keep looking great and, be as young as they can be. And, women, that's what women are looking for in a lot of ways. I mean, it's not everywhere. It's just, you see it in certain places around the world that, it's very important for men to be youthful and young. Whereas, I find it attractive to see older people who age gracefully that embrace it. I think you can really feel that, and it looks good. That's how I feel anyway. But I think again, we talked earlier about it being mindset and how you feel about it, and what your challenges are. Like some people, because of pressure and career, like men in careers when they get older, it's difficult. And they feel like they have to keep up with youth and stuff like that, right? Because age isn't looked at, it's frowned upon, when it should be embraced, and the experience should be embraced, and people should be looking for that because it's good, right? So
Well, I
that's my
think
opinion.
it's also the way modern business is looking. For example, what we're doing now, more and more of
Yeah,
us, men or women, are having to appear on screen and
yeah,
look our
yeah.
best. That best is usually translated into our most youthful version, right? So a lot of men who are in the corporate world are feeling to try and fight and hang on to their youthfulness.
Yeah,
There's a hell amount
yeah.
more hair dye for men adverts now all of a sudden on
Oh
TV, and
no,
even beard dyes
which is bad.
and like, what do you call it, like body shapers, like girdles and
Yeah,
undergarments for men. Like I never saw that like
yeah,
20 years ago, but now you're seeing all kind of support structures and sort of Spanx
yeah.
for men coming
Mhm.
into the world. So anyway,
Where can I get those?
but one thing I will, what did you say?
Where can I get those?
Amazon. You find everything on
Okay.
Amazon. One thing I will say though, Kevin, is that aging is a personal journey. You're talking about looking good is
Yeah,
feeling good. Looking good is really important because if you feel good, you feel like you can still continue.
yeah.
People
I agree.
who stop living, let's say, and going for more of their goals and dreams and travel aspirations, a lot of people feel like, oh, I can't do that. I'm too old to be doing that. I can't do that.
Mhm.
Either they're judging themselves or they're afraid of being judged for making certain choices
Yeah.
and living out certain life. But I really, truly believe your attitude can also be contagious. I love being in the gym and seeing, wow, look at that woman
Mhm.
in the body pump class. She's lifting.
Yeah.
I'm probably thinking, she's 60 plus, but look at her go. And it doesn't
Yeah.
matter. So we can always be the first, a trailblazer to lead the way. But I also
Uh,
believe that it's so important more than any other time to be in community of people who are, when I say defining age, I'm not saying they're turning back the clock or anything, but it's important to see and be around people who are living a
yes.
life
Yeah.
of
Absolutely.
vitality. They're thriving, they're
Yeah.
traveling, the
Yeah.
mountain riding, at 65. And I think it's important to surround yourself with people because monkey does, monkey sees, or whatever the saying is.
Yeah.
It will
Yeah.
inspire you to feel like I'm not as old as I think. So many old
Mhm.
people do the description of what you said, sit in front of the telly and be
Yeah.
entertained and just watch the world go by. But then there's another portion of the population where they're like, sod it. My life begins in my retirement. I'm not going to retire in front of the telly.
Mhm.
I'm going to travel the
Yeah.
world. I'm going to see things. I'm going to experience things. I want to be like that when I'm 70 plus.
Yeah. That's the time to do it, right? And when you can enjoy it, and it is like, again, it really is just about how you set yourself up and how you have to believe in yourself and embrace yourself and understand that it's part of living. And you should be happy about it. And like the fact that you're living and you're 60, that's good, right? Those are good things. So embrace that, right?
Yeah.
Like I wake up every day and I'm like, that's the first thing I'm always grateful for is that I woke up.
Yeah.
It's just, when you get to a certain point and you get also like things happen to you. Everybody has traumatic things happen in their lives and it changes you. And then you appreciate things more and you enjoy things more. And you don't want to be bogged down with things that relate to your 20s when you're 60 years old. Like you don't want to be dealing with that stuff, right? Like you want to be enjoying what you work very hard to do, no
Mm.
matter how you went about getting it, right? So it is all about embracing that and thriving in your life and not trying to fit into somebody else's um mold that they say you should be, right?
Mm.
Like I know a lot of kids that talk to their parents and say to their parents like you shouldn't be doing this, you shouldn't be doing that, and I'm just like, leave your parents alone. Like they should be doing whatever they want to be doing. They deserve it, right? Like stop trying to make them do things that you think they should be doing and let them enjoy their lives and do what they want to do, like travel. Like I know so many people that have spent their life raising children and everything, and great, they don't regret it, they loved it. And then when they're all gone, they're finished university and basically the parental portion of their responsibility is kind of over. I know a lot of people that have sold their house and everything in it, bought a camper, trailer, whatever, and traveled
Mm.
wherever they wanted to go. And their children went crazy, like crazy, right? And I'm like, why would you do that? And I'm like, how long are they going to do that for? And they're, I don't know. We're just going to go and see what happens. And this one couple we knew in Toronto, they went and did it. And then we had some people over and they said, "Oh, we've got a couple that was there said, we've got some friends staying with us. Do you mind if we invite them over?" And it was this couple that we had been to in Toronto that had been traveling all over the States and everything. And they were there and they kind of landed in Montreal and decided to stay. And then, so that was like their full circle. So they were just in the process of now selling their camper and deciding, maybe we'll buy a condo and stay here for a while. So it's what you want to do. It's how you want to embrace your life and to live your life and be happy.
I'm the
That's what it's
complete
about.
opposite. I'm fighting my parents, at least my mum now, because my dad passed, to do more. Like my mum
Hmm.
lives in her limiting belief of, oh, I'm too old for retirement. And I'm like, Mum, this is the time to do it. You always wanted to do this, do it now. In a few years' time, you've
Mhm.
got no mobility, then you can't do it. But now,
Yeah,
if
that's the
you've got
thing.
strength, if you've got health, if you've got, as you said, you're lucky to wake up and have another day, do it. Don't
Yeah,
hold yourself back.
yeah,
I want to see my parents live as full a life as they can without any limits, because it's also,
exactly.
creating a pattern for me. And
Hmm.
I want to go the same way. So, Kevin, age. Right. I love this conversation because I also think it's important to talk about how age is a trade-off. Yes, when we pick up the topic of age, the first thing we all go to is, we're losing our beauty, we're losing our youthfulness. But that outer, let's say, trade-off comes with something else.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy that as I age and I get older, I'm trading off that youthfulness to gain back, for example, a real confidence in my skill sets and my abilities.
Hmm.
The audaciousness to take action, even when I know it feels uncomfortable, to step in the fire because I've got track record of, I've done this
Yeah.
before. When you're younger, oh, I can't, it's too hard, or it's too dangerous,
Hmm.
or it's too scary. There's some limiting beliefs that hold you back. But actually, age just makes you get on with it because come on, I don't have time to
Hmm.
let's go do it.
Yeah, you don't care. Yeah.
I'm loving just finding out about courage. Courage isn't that something that arrives and you grow in courage. Actually, courage is just doing things bloody scared, but
Exactly, right.
but doing it
Exactly.
anyway. Doing it anyway
But
because
not worrying
everybody
about,
has
yeah,
fears. Everybody's scared of something. Everybody's held back
yeah.
by something, but it's not the
And
reason.
not having that concern about being judged by other people, right? Like you don't care about that as much. You
Don't
don't
care.
have
You don't
that
care
say,
at all.
oh, what are they gonna think? Like, who cares what they think? Just
Mm.
do it, right? If that's the thing.
Also, more importantly, you're judging yourself less. I hear
Yes,
myself
yeah.
as in my little self-talk. it's more, yeah, you go for it. You know, I'm cheering myself on more than, oh, you idiot, you got that wrong. The conversation is completely, the
Yeah,
conversation
it's
is
completely
completely
different.
different, because we also understand that to achieve anything, failure, setbacks, you know, not being perfect is part of the process. You know, until you step in the arena, you're going to stay stuck on the sidelines. For me,
Yeah,
it's
I
about
agree.
growing. As long as I'm growing and I'm at the right pause in my life or the right step in my life, you know,
Yeah.
it's always a pause or a progress, you know, but
Yeah.
it's designing a
I
life
would,
you love and living it for me more than
mhm,
it's important
I
about.
agree. This is a really good topic, and I think, I would really encourage people who are watching this to put something in the comments to just say, like, what their experiences have been or what they're struggling with. I would love to know, like, what do people go through? What kind of challenges have they had and overcome? And, how they ended up where they are, if they're happy where they are, if they have regrets. I'd like to hear about stuff like that. If anybody's, watching this and putting it in the comments, I'd love to hear about it. And then we can have a whole conversation about that as well.
Do you have any regrets? If you do, what do you regret?
Mm. I don't, you know what? I don't know. Like, I always like to think I don't have any regret, but I guess everybody has some regrets. I think, I have some regrets with my children in terms of things that I may have done differently as a parent. That I don't know whether it would have changed their lives or what they've done any more than the way it worked out. Like, I don't know. Because I think, with regret, you don't know what difference it's going to make. Um, I regret only not doing what I wanted to do when I wanted to do it. I think there are a few things that I would have done differently.
Give me an
And
example.
I probably would have, I think at one point I really wanted to try acting. And I think I would have,
Ooh, I
like, if I
didn't know
went
that
South
about
Korea,
you.
I would have given that a shot, or singing, something like that in the entertainment.
You're
Like, I think
such a drama queen. You would have been great on the stage.
oh my God, I agree 100%. But something like that, like, I just think I was like,
Really,
I did a
Kevin?
lot of that. I did a lot of in high school. I was in theater arts a lot, and I did tons of productions, right? And I really enjoyed it. And I thought, there were a couple of friends that pursued it and didn't do much with it, maybe a couple of commercials or whatever. But it was something that I really wanted to look at. But the way my life went at the time didn't go. But it could have. Who knows, right?
Is it
So just
something you
stuff like
would like
that.
to pursue as a hobby?
Like, I would, if I now, like, I have a few friends that participate in, doing theater and stuff like that, like, just, local theater and stuff like that. If I had an opportunity to do that, I probably would. Like, if I saw something. But right now, like, I live in Montreal, so it's French. So there's not a lot of English opportunities here right now. And I'm not fluent enough in French to do that kind of thing. But who knows? You never know, right? I don't know. Maybe I'll just do it on YouTube. But it's, if you're looking at true regrets and things that you wanted to do that you didn't do, that would be, I think that's but the only thing I can think of that I would say I was regretful
I definitely have some
for.
regrets. And I would say I regret some of the time I didn't invest in pursuing wealth, like wealth
Mm,
generation, and um, just thinking it's something that it will come my way when it's supposed to come. But I now realize
right.
it's really a pursuit and making the right investments and
Mhm.
the right move. And I wish I had taken more risks. I was super, super
Yeah.
gentle and careful, and was afraid of
Mhm.
being in debt and all these kind of things. So some of the purchasing decisions and investments I
Right.
made low investment, low risk, low return
Yeah.
rather,
Yeah.
low investment, low return, low risk. But I wish I had
Mhm.
acquired the knowledge that I have now, because
Yeah.
had I made those
Yeah.
investments 20 years ago, I'd be in a completely different
Yeah.
financial mindset. But as we're talking about, anytime that you get the knowledge, anytime is a good day to start a new goal or a dream.
Exactly.
So yeah,
Exactly. Right. Because you don't know. Like, right now, you can
you
invest
don't
in
know what you
something,
don't
and
know. It's as simple as that.
1 year later, boom.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So I
If you don't
think
know,
I think
not worth
if
being.
I have any regrets, it's
Don't
around.
regret it.
But
I
I
think I
was pretty
scrapped it.
daring. I was pretty adventurous. I traveled. I
Yeah, me too.
relocated. I did a few things. Um, and I also truly believe that with everybody, our best years are ahead. So it's a waste of time to have any regrets anyway. Today's
I
the beginning
agree.
of the rest
No
of all of
regrets.
our lives. And
No regrets.
yeah, I see a lake
What's
house
the
in my
point of
future.
regret?
I see a lake house in my future too,
Yeah, exactly, right.
as it says
Or
on your
cottage,
t-shirt.
or whatever you want it to be, right?
Yeah.
But it is like regrets really are a waste of energy because it's something you can't change. So embrace what you have and change it now. Do it now,
Mm.
right? Nothing to stop you from doing it now. That's what I think. So that's my opinion
Mm.
on regret.
No regrets. Onwards and upwards, Kevin.
Exactly. So
Let's write new chapters. Well, buddy, happy birthday once again.
yes, you too. And take it easy, and everyone participate and leave comments. We'd really appreciate it, as always. And if you have a topic you want to hear about, just put it in the comment section. We'd be happy to have a conversation on that as well.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for being here. And as we've been talking about, seriously, age is nothing but a number. You know, that
Exactly.
every generation will think that they were younger than the one before. And definitely we're younger than our parents were. I remember my mum turning 50 and
Absolutely.
she's over the
Right.
hills. But now
I
that
know.
I'm here, it's like, oh my God, you're
Exactly.
young, go for it. So on that note,
There you
you're
go.
young, go for it. Go for whatever it
All
is
right.
I desire. Kevin, have a good
Exactly.
one.
You too. Take it easy. We'll
See
talk
you.
soon.
Bye.
Bye.